Hello guys and welcome to the Walking Project. Today I've got a metal cloth called the Motorola Z2 Play. Probably one of the best premium mid-range phones money can buy. Although it's a little bit expensive, it's still at $380 here in the UK. Although I'm expecting some Christmas, discounts. But apparently if you're an international buyer, you can click in the description down below and you can get it for just £280, guys. So let's waste no more time, let's get the unboxing done and see if this phone is worth the money. Okay, so let's do a quick unboxing, guys. The box is really nice, it's red obviously. We've got the shiny Motorola logo over here, a small reminder that it's Moto mods compatible and a subtle hint of who the boss is. So basically when you open up the box it reveals, well, another box. And I really like the materials used, they're really nice and soft to the touch. It almost feels like you don't want to open this box, but of course you have to get your phone out somehow. So when you open up the box, the motion is very nice and smooth, and inside you're getting some books and other useless stuff, basically USB Type-C cable and our turbo charger. And in case you haven't noticed there's something missing from the box, and no, it's not a pair of headphones, it is this black herringbone style shell cover that we used to get for free on the original Moto Z, but we get no more with the Moto Z Play, guys. So let's move on quickly to the design and build quality of the phone. Okay, so let's talk about design specifications and build quality, guys. The first and the most significant difference between the old generation and the new Moto Z2 Play is this brand new metal back. It has some sort of a special coating, it doesn't hold any scratches, it doesn't hold any fingerprints as well, and it improves the overall durability of the phone. And I'm really happy that they went this route because the phone feels very nice and sturdy. Of course, I'm not gonna do a bend test, I'm not gonna take the breath out of the jerry rig, everything. But anyway, let's talk about specifications a little bit. Snapdragon 626 inside, which is really nice in terms of performance and battery efficiency as well. My version has only 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of storage, but there's another option with 64 gigs of storage and 4 gigs of RAM if you need the extra storage. Of course, at the bottom over here we're gonna see our Moto Mods connector and our shiny new Motorola logo over here, which is a pain in the ass basically because it has a small ridge here, which is very easy to hold any kind of dirt and sweat from your fingers. So basically you need a toothbrush and you need to brush it every now and then just to get the debris out of the way. So what else do we have? A 12 megapixel rear facing camera, dual tone flash, laser assisted autofocus. When we move to the front, we've got our 5 megapixel camera, dual tone flash as well. At the bottom we've got our fingerprint reader, one microphone, there's another noise cancelling microphone over here as well, and there's yet another noise cancelling microphone. At the top we've got our SIM tray with one micro SD card slot as well as one SIM slot. At the bottom of the phone we've got our USB Type-C connector and a 3.5mm jack. Kudos for Motorola for bringing back the headphone jack. On this side we've got our power button, which is reached and is very easy to find, and on top of that we've got our volume rockers over here. On this side it's very nice and clean, we've got nothing, and the phone overall is very slim, guys. Check this out, it's not as slim as the original Moto Z, but still is slimmer than most of the phones nowadays, and it has a 3000 milliamp hours of battery inside, which is surprising considering really how thin this phone is. Now moving on to the front of the phone, we are dealing with 5.5 inch 1080p AMOLED screen, and let me tell you guys, this is one of the best 1080p AMOLED screens that I've ever seen. It's really bright in sunlight, you're gonna have totally no problems with the visibility, and the color reproduction is pretty nice as well. So let's jump in and have a look at that screen. Now looking at the screen, you'll be surprised how nice a 1080p AMOLED screen could be at 5.5 inches, guys. Now, quick question and quick answer. Is this screen better than the screen on the original Moto Z? And the answer is no. It's not that saturated, but at least it is brighter, which definitely, you know, is something. So basically it's not crazy saturated, but at the same time you've got quite a lot of saturation. The contrast is absolutely amazing. The blacks are real blacks. And let me show you a couple of wallpapers. I mean, you'll be really surprised of the overall quality of the screen. As you can see, the colors pop. It's absolutely amazing and it's definitely sharp enough. I can't see any pixels, but again, if you compare it head to head with some of the 4K screens or the Quad HD if you prefer, it's not that sharp, but definitely in, you know, day-to-day usage it's more than enough and it's very bright. At the moment I'm rocking it at about 70% maybe. You can get, you know, all the way to 100%, but it gets a little bit too much in, you know, indoors. So basically you do 100% when you go outdoors in bright sunlight. The other thing about the screen is that you can set up your colors to standard and vibrant colors. Now I usually prefer very vibrant colors, especially on my AMOLED screens, but if you prefer, you know, photo accuracy, you can always rock on standard as well. Now, what about this fingerprint reader? I can tell you that that's one of the most accurate and the best fingerprint readers I have ever used, guys. Check this out. You just place your finger on top of it and it unlocks the screen straight away. I mean, you don't have to push, you don't have to wake up the screen before that. You just place your finger and it unlocks the screen. Kudos for Motorola for doing one of the best fingerprint readers I have ever used. Now, the other way to unlock your phone is with the face unlock function. The face unlock is not as quick as the OnePlus 5T. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Check this out. That's basically instantaneous unlock. Now the face unlock on the other phones works a little bit differently. You have to wake up the phone first, you have to look at the cameras over here, and when you see this unlock symbol, then you swipe to unlock your phone. It's, you know, 3 steps instead of 1, but that's how most of the Android phones work anyways. Now the other cool trick about the fingerprint reader on this phone is the ability to hide your software navigation buttons and use the fingerprint reader as well. So basically what you do is you swipe right on the fingerprint reader and it shows you your recent applications. You go inside your recent applications, let's say you click somewhere, you want to go back, so basically you swipe left to go back. And if you want to go home, you just press it one time and it goes home. If you want to lock the screen, you just hold this button and it locks the screen. That's very handy. I'm using it all the time and I'm really not thinking about going back to the software buttons because they don't make sense since you have this option over here. I believe all phones who have fingerprint reader nowadays should have this option as well. Which takes us to the software of the phone. Basically pure stock Android, of course, because that was the Verizon version. I got quite a lot of bloatware which I disabled or uninstalled. That was no problem about that. And the phone for Snapdragon 26 is very snappy, guys. I've got a 3 gigs version and I've got totally no problems with multitasking, and overall the phone feels very nimble and fluid. Check this out, no matter what you throw at it is very nice and quick. So definitely Snapdragon 626 with a 1080p screen, I'm definitely feeling the performance, and it has no difference between this and the Snapdragon 820 in day-to-day usage. And don't forget the Moto display. Just wave at the screen like that to wake up the screen and check your notifications. You can as well chop twice like that to activate the flashlight, chop twice to switch it off, and now twist the phone like that twice to activate the camera. And now check this out, twist one more time to activate the selfie. Yeah. Now what about gaming performance? The phone is on a very high level of gaming performance, guys. I have noticed that it's a little bit above the Xiaomi A1, which rocks the Snapdragon 625 processor. The gaming over here is a little bit weaker, and on the new Snapdragon 626 is just a little bit better, getting very close to Snapdragon 820, probably because of the new GPU inside. But let me show you what the gaming performance is. But before that, I'm gonna show you a screenshot of my Epic Citadel and some benchmarking as well. So on Basemark, as you can see, everything is full apart from the memory, which basically means it's gonna take a little bit more time to load the heavy applications as well as to install them. So that's Epic Citadel, guys, 49.3 FPS, which is a very high level of frame rate, and basically you're gonna have absolutely no problems no matter what game you throw at it. Let me just load up Mortal Kombat just to show you quickly what the gameplay is all about. Check this out. Everything is nice and smooth and you're not gonna notice any sort of slowdowns. So overall I'm very happy with the gaming performance, guys. You shouldn't worry about throwing any kind of heavy game on this phone because it's gonna perform absolutely admirably. So kudos for the gaming performance. Okay, so let's move on to the sound now. We've got our 3.5mm jack, and let me tell you that the sound coming out of it is pretty much just a little bit above average, guys. Pretty much is the same as the original Moto Z. It's not an upgrade, but considering that's considered as mid-range phone, you can't really expect nothing more, to be honest with you. But I'm very happy to report that the sound coming out of the front-facing mono speaker here is actually pretty good and loud, and it gets the job done in the most, noisy environment simply because it's facing towards you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Maximum volume here. Check this out. As you can see, that was quite loud, guys, and no matter which way you hold the phone, you're never going to block this speaker. So definitely get, a front-facing mono speaker rather than a bottom-firing speaker any day. So overall sound quality is thumbs up again. Now let's talk about cameras a little bit. In order to make this video a little bit shorter, I've made a separate video, a detailed, camera review of this phone. I'm gonna link it in the description down below. But basically, long story short, the back camera 12 megapixel is really good in good lighting conditions, but it gets considerably worse in low light. There is electronic image stabilization on 1080p, there is no optical stabilization whatsoever, and unfortunately on 4K we've got no stabilization and quite a lot of artifacting going on, so 4K is pretty much useless. Now what about a front-facing camera? I'm very happy to report that that's the very same camera that they've put on the Moto Z. Basically you have, of course, no stabilization during videos, but at least you're upping your selfie game with the dual tone flash, and the overall qualities of just a 5 megapixel front-facing camera are definitely there. Of course in low light it gets worse, but in good daylight you can get some very good selfies out of this camera, guys. So front-facing camera, yes. And now last but not least, let's talk about recharge times and battery life, guys. So let me show you what I'm talking about. In half an hour you're getting 51% of juice. That's absolutely phenomenal, and it's almost as quick as the OnePlus One Dash charger. Now 1 hour gives you 87%, which is crazy fast as well, and the last 30% take quite a long time, finishing at 1 hour 40 minutes, but overall I'm quite happy with the charging capabilities of this phone. And now what about the battery life? Now if you're new to my channel, I gotta tell you that I'm really heavy user. Most of the time I'm using the phone on 4G, YouTubing, chroming, and every kind of heavy usage you can think of, gaming as well. So basically the first day I got 6 hours 32 minutes, guys. That's crazy. I can see that I've used a little bit of a Wi-Fi over here, I guess during the night when I came back from work. 5 hours 24 minutes 4G, 5 hours 34 minutes 4G as well, 6 hours 29 minutes Wi-Fi over here, 6 hours 19 minutes I finished on the Wi-Fi as well, 6 hours 10 minutes, 6 hours 32 minutes, and that's that's something else. So basically between 6.5 and potentially, maybe if you use it on a little bit of a lower brightness and Wi-Fi only, you can actually reach 7 hours of screen on time, guys. And if you really push it hard, really gaming and GPS and everything heavy, you can get probably 5 hours of screen on time, which is absolutely amazing for these qualities that you get: the bright screen, the fast processor, and the excellent gaming. So battery life, again, thumbs up on this phone. Now, where does it leave us with the Motorola Z2 Play, guys? I think that it definitely deserves the Play name, although the battery life is not as great as the old Moto Z, but you can definitely see all the improvements, plus you can't really complain of 7 hours of screen on time. Anyway, considering how thin the phone is and how nice the new metal back feels in the hand. So overall, I'm really happy with the phone. The only problem I have is the official pricing of £380, guys. Of course, as I told you earlier, if you click in the link in the description down below, you can buy it for just £280. But again, £280 is still a little bit steep considering that you can get the original Moto Z for the same price. And the next video I'm gonna do is a comprehensive comparison between those two phones, the Moto Z2 Play and the Moto Z. If you're following my channel, you probably already know that I have already posted a comprehensive camera comparison between those two phones. I'm gonna leave a link in the description down below, so make sure you check this one out. So yeah, subscribe to my channel as well, guys. Please hit the thumbs up button if I helped you out, and basically stay tuned for the comparison in the next few days. Thank you very much for watching and see you later. Adios.